Hi, I'm Crystal with Crystal DTF. Today we are doing something very special. I am going to show you how I make the designs we sell on the site. Throughout this tutorial, our primary tools will be Adobe Photoshop and ChatGPT. We'll be integrating industry standard design with advanced AI to streamline professional workflow. It's going to be the most comprehensive tutorial that we've ever done, start to finish, how we create one of our incredible designs at crystaldtf.com. Now, just with most things, it starts with an idea. And I was scrolling on Facebook and I got inspired by a design that I saw. And the idea was, I don't snore, I dream I'm a motorcycle. And I just loved it. So it was just wonderful, thought that was a cute concept, and I decided that I was gonna make my own version. All right, let me show you how that worked. So we started at ChatGPT and we wrote this prompt. I made a DTF transfer design, give it a t-shirt screen print style with simple flat colors. Vector art. Make sure there is room for the design to breathe through the shirt. Muted color palette. Make the artwork intricate and the typography simple and roadworthy. Here's the concept. I don't store, I dream I'm a motorcycle. And I've actually misspelled it. If you can see that there, I spelled motorcycle wrong. And I wrote with a detailed graphic of a Harley or other iconic bike. Okay, so now I'm over in Photoshop and I'm gonna take it from a concept to a fully rendered piece. And the first thing I wanna do is start isolating this motorcycle. So I'm gonna undo some of these steps because I was practicing before. I'm gonna take this image that I've opened in Photoshop and I'm gonna convert it to a smart object. Then I'm gonna duplicate that layer. Then I'm actually gonna rasterize the layer that I've just duplicated so I can edit it. And I'm just gonna turn this one off so it's not confusing me. Now right above this, I'm gonna make a solid color. So I'm gonna make a solid color of white and just put it right above my background copy. So I have these two layers. There's my white layer and then there's my design layer. And I'm gonna start isolating the different parts of this design. So the first thing I've done is I've selected my lasso tool and I'm gonna start drawing around the parts that are really easy to isolate. Now, if you have trouble drawing like this, you might need to slow your mouse speed down. So sometimes I'll just slow my mouse speed down in my window settings to make it easier for me to follow around and catch all the details. Press the Windows key, type mouse settings, and hit enter. Look for the mouse pointer speed slider and simply drag it to the left to slow things down. You may have noticed that I didn't select everything that I wanted to isolate all at once. I'm actually just made the easy parts and then I'm zooming in. I'm using Control plus on my keyboard and Control minus to zoom out. And I'm gonna hold Shift and I'm just gonna draw right along this part with my little lasso tool and come down it around and just select that part as well. So now I've got all of this part up at the top isolated and I'm gonna make a mask for it. So I'm gonna do Control Shift in and do a new layer and I'm gonna call it White Mask. And then I'm just gonna take my paint bucket tool, switch to black and white, switch white to the foreground and dump paint on my mask. Now I'm going to hit Control D to deselect. And I'm gonna start thinking about how to isolate these other layers. So I know that I'm gonna wanna re-render the motorcycle, probably the text, all the individual elements I'm gonna re-render with ChatGPT. But I now need to remove this sign. So I'm just gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna try just drawing around it. So I'm just gonna try to draw all the way around this part. I'm trying to follow the contours real specifically what I want to make sure I don't remove. And now I kind of feel like I messed up, so I'm just gonna do Shift and just go around this a little bit more. Okay, that's what I'm gonna try to remove. I'm gonna use the generative remove tool right here, and I'm just gonna hit remove. It's thinking about it. And in my opinion, it's done a pretty good job. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Okay, so now let's just let's paint over this part. So I'm just going to do another white mask. I'm going to do Control Shift in, and I'm going to call it White Mask 2. And then I'm going to switch to my brush tool, and I'm going to make it large, and I'm just going to paint out this part down here. And I'm just going to try to fade this in. So I'm going to take this part, I'm going to use my brush tool at a very soft brush and a smaller size, and just kind of paint that away so it's not so extreme. So now I have the motorcycle graphic isolated. Now that it's isolated, I want to copy it and paste it back in the ChatGPT. So I'm just going to take these layers that we've been working with and select them all. The top one selected, I'm going to shift select the bottom one and use Control E. Now I'm going to grab my marquee tool and I'm just going to select around that drawing. So there's my selection. And I'm going to hit Control C. I'm going to go back to ChatGPT and click on New Chat. I'm going to paste what's on my clipboard so it has the motorcycle. And now I'm going to write my prompt. Now let's look at this prompt. I want you to improve and refine this motorcycle design. Keep the same muted color palette, but add details where you can. Make sure the wheels are round and pay special attention to where they touch the ground. The shadows on the ground need to be converted to pure black. Ensure crisp, clean edges on the entire design wherever it meets the white background. Now I'm going to select Create Image, and we're going to let it go. When using an AI like ChatGPT, you never know what you are going to get. So it's important to carefully check the result. And here's our render. So I'm going to click on it and click on Download to download it to my computer. Now that it's down, I'm going to rename it. And I'm just going to call it Motorcycle. Okay. I'm going to take both of these images into Upscayl.org and upscale it. So I'm going to select this image, my original concept, and just upscale it. I don't need to go too much. Let's go 5x. That's 6270. I take that back. That's quite a lot. We're going to 6,000 pixels. We're just going to upscale that original image. Okay, now we're going to start a new Photoshop document. I'm just going to right-click that and open it with Photoshop. And I'm going to do the same thing by converting it to a smart object. And then I'm going to bring in the upscaled motorcycle. So let's select that, select motorcycle, open it. I don't need 7680. I'm going to go with 4x and go 6100. I'm going to find the upscaled motorcycle right in the same folder. And I'm actually just going to rename it. I'm going to call it Motorcycle Upscayl, just to make it have a simpler name, and then pull it into Photoshop. So by pulling it in the way I did, I've actually converted it automatically to a smart object. When I hit Enter and it pasted on the stage, it's created a new layer and it's made it a smart object. Think of a smart object as a protective wrapper for your layer. It lets you resize, edit, and apply filters without ever losing the original image quality. Let's double-click that smart object. Now we're in the isolated layer that's just the smart object of the motorcycle. So I have my original document here, and then I'm in the PSB, the smart object. It's a PSB, or it's actually a PNG in this case. So I'm going to unlock that layer so we can edit it. Okay. It's a great time for me to save my main document. I'm going to go here and do File, Save As, and I'm going to name the document. There we go. I don't snore. I dream I'm a motorcycle. .psd, that's the Photoshop extension. Now let's go back to that motorcycle upscale.png. I'm going to switch over to a magic wand tool. I'm going to set the tolerance to 80. Contiguous is checked, as well as anti-alias and sample all layers. Now let's just click right out here in the white and look at our initial selection. So when we clicked out there, it drew all the way around the outside because contiguous is checked. Now the obvious places we need to select are right here, underneath the motorcycle, and then all of these white areas, all these layers, all these little places. We just got to go around and hunt and find them all. So I'm just holding Shift as I select the additional parts that I want to add to my selection. So now I'm going to hold Shift and click inside these areas. And it's getting hard for me to see what I'm selecting. So I'm going to zoom in, Control plus, Shift select. Let's grab a few more of those little white areas. I think this one too, and this little guy right here. Okay, I don't see anything that's selected that I don't want, so that's great. Now I'm going to do the hard, complex part of selecting all these spokes. Okay, I'm almost done. So here I go, the last few little bits and pieces. And I just want to show you that we've selected all these parts that are white, but some we've left deselected. And this takes skill, and this takes time. And it's something that you just get better at with time, determining where to select. And I see obvious problems. I mean, that's one of the challenges of working with AI. Now this part right here, it's selected. I want to knock this out, but I don't want to cut up in there. So I'm just gonna grab my lasso tool and hold Alt and just deselect that area. Now I've zoomed back out, and I'm gonna zoom in on this back wheel and make some more selections. So just holding Shift, clicking where we think we need to, and getting rid of those white areas so that we can show the background through. Okay, let's take a look at our edges. So I'm gonna zoom in on a part of this and just take a look at the edge. And I can see that my selection is also including some of these little gray pixels. It's not a really perfect edge. Not yet. It's not bad, actually. It looks pretty good as these things go. But I want to make sure that there's no white at all on this outside, and I want to make sure that happens all the way around. So I'm just going to do Select, Modify, Expand. Since we're outside of the part that we want to cut out, we need to scoop in just by 1 pixel. Let's do 1 pixel and hit OK. And let's look at the results of that. So if we zoom in here, we can say we're just inside the edge all the way around. We're not going to lose too much detail. Oops, there's a part that I wish that I'd selected. Let's hit Control Z. I'm going to add that to my selection, and then I'll do that Select, Modify, Expand 1 pixel again so that it's all consistent all the way around the design. All right, let's zoom out and let's hit Delete on our keyboard. Billy? Viewing your work on a plain black or white background removes distractions. It instantly highlights messy edges, weird colors, or little mistakes you might have missed. Okay, it's time to check our work. So now we're going to put a solid color of black behind the motorcycle. I'm going to hit Control D to deselect. And then click on the solid color, the little circle icon, click on solid color, choose black, and then drag it below the motorcycle. And now I can really check those edges and see if there's any problems with what I've done. So far, so good. It's nice to flip it off and on and see if anything stands out to you. And actually, I see a little bit of problem down here in this wheel. So I'm gonna fix that. Let's just select the motorcycle layer. I'm gonna select that little bit of whites. Same trick, select, modify, expand 1 pixel, hit enter, and then hit delete. And there's one other place that I wanna just check over here. Just a little bit of oddity right here. I might want to get rid of that little bit right there because it's just standing out to me. So I'm just going to do the same thing. Select, modify, expand 1 pixel and hit delete. And I'm happier with that. Now let's look at it against black and see what we have. Okay, so I see some discoloration down here in the shadows. So I'm going to hold Control and click on the motorcycle. So I click the motorcycle layer. Now I'm going to switch to my brush tool, and I'm going to switch to pure black, and I'm just going to paint over those parts. So all of this part right here, let's get a hard brush. We had that soft one from before, and let's just paint that black right over that whole area. And I'm going to be real picky about it and come right in here and paint this out black. Paint this whole edge. I'm being real careful to make sure that I get all the parts. And we really can't see any change as we're doing this, but now, when we hit Control V, we can see that that shadow has completely disappeared against that black. I know now that that's pure black down there at the bottom. All right, we're almost done with the motorcycle. Let's get image, trim, transparent pixels, hit OK, Control S to save it. Oh, there's a warning. It's because we have this extra color fill layer and it can't save it back as its original format. Let's hit delete on that layer and now try Control S. Awesome, it's back on our original document and the background has been cut completely out. Now let's position the motorcycle. Let's switch to our Move tool and we're just gonna scoot it up and place it about where we want it. If we get Control, hold Control and hit T, we can enter transform mode and we can shrink it down and we can place it more precisely. And it doesn't necessarily have to line up exactly with where it did before. It can be a little different. This is your artwork after all, and you're taking the final composition. I'm just gonna scoot it a little bit in from where it was, make it slightly smaller than the original. I want a little more space between it and these outer lines here. Okay, let's hit enter to confirm. We can't just settle for raw AI output. We need to take control of every single element, isolating each piece to upscale or vectorize it for perfect professional quality. It's time to work on some of the other elements. Let's work on some of these graphic design elements up at the top. So I'm gonna switch to my magic wand again. I'm gonna zoom in, hold Shift, and select this area right here. So I'm selecting that kind of rust orange, darker orange color, kind of a brownish orange. And I've just selected all three of the parts that I'm gonna make the same color. And I'm gonna try this trick. We're gonna go to Paths, and we're just gonna select this little path tool, and it's gonna make a shape out of the selection that I had. So now we've got a vector object. I'm gonna switch back to my layers, and I'm gonna say Layer, New Fill Layer, Solid Color. I'm gonna call it Burnt Orange. And then I'm gonna choose the color. So I'm just gonna select this color for now. I'm gonna hit OK. I'm gonna turn that layer off. And I'm gonna select this original color. I think this star has the best color. And I'm gonna turn that layer back on. And now I'm gonna adjust the color by just selecting that color again. And now my burnt orange layer has got that color, and that's a vector object, so I can actually print it at any size. Raster images are built from tiny pixels, so they blur when you zoom in. Vector objects are created using math, meaning they stay perfectly sharp no matter how much you scale them. Now let's do the same thing with these little wings. Let's select this one. I'm gonna move this out of the way. Shift select these other two. And I'm just gonna go and follow those same steps. We're gonna go to Paths, make it a path, Layers, Layer, New Fill Layer, Solid Color. And I'm gonna call it Wings. And then I'm just gonna choose the color from this one and hit OK. Now I'm gonna duplicate that layer. And I'm gonna flip it. Edit, transform, flip horizontal. Now I'm gonna switch to my Move tool and just slide it right over. I'm holding Shift to make sure that it conforms. And then I'm gonna take both of those wings and group them. And I'm gonna call this Wings. And I'm doing that so that I can center them. So I have my alignment set to canvas. I have my Move tool selected, and I'm just gonna click this button to center those wings. Now I'm gonna take my burnt orange, and I'm gonna center it as well. And how that works out tells me quite a lot of things. I think my motorcycle is probably not centered. So I'm gonna select my motorcycle, and I'm gonna center it as well. And it went to the right, which is really surprising, but it's a great lesson. So the motorcycle is actually visually centered. It's been visually centered by the AI in the design. And the other objects are actually centered, absolute center. So I'm gonna actually push that back. I'm gonna hold Shift and pull it back and make sure it's where I want it to be. Okay, that's great. So now I've got those elements all centered the way that I want them to be in the final. Absolute center is purely mathematical, but visual center is where a design actually feels balanced. It's why we center a portrait on a character's nose. All right, let's take a look at our progress so far. So this is our original layer over here on the right. Down here, I'm just gonna click on the eyeball and turn it off. And so now I can see all the parts of the design that we've recreated or we've taken care of in some way to make them better. Let's turn that back on and let's work on this text up top. Now before I even do that, I'm gonna grab this ellipse tool and I'm gonna tell it to have a stroke of black at 1 pixel and no fill. So it's drawing a shape, I'm in shape mode, and it's an ellipse. And as I draw this out, I'm holding shift to make sure I'm getting an actual circle. And I'm just going a little bigger than I think that I need. So I'm just going all the way out. All right, let's take that shape now. I'm gonna actually increase that stroke so we can see it a little better. So it's at 10 pixels. And I'm just gonna move it around with my arrow keys. So I'm holding shift and I'm pulling it down. Probably needs to be a little bit bigger. Let's just move over here and let's move that into center. Let's center it. Actually, let's just go ahead and center it with our document. And I'm gonna hit Control T and I'm gonna pull it even larger. So this time I'm not holding shift. I'm actually letting it constrain itself on its own axis. I'm trying to find something that's really close to the curve of the text. Okay, I'm gonna accept that right there. So let's get there. And let's center it one more time so we can see where that's supposed to be. So if I click here, that's gonna center it. So we can see that the I don't snore is really off quite a bit. All right, let's isolate that layer. Let's select our magic wand again. I'm gonna turn the ellipse off for now. And I'm just gonna hold shift as I select all of these letters. So this is helping us just select the parts that are black, and it's avoiding selecting the parts that have that distress on them. Let's zoom in and take a look. So I'm using spacebar to switch to the hand tool so that I can move around the document, and I'm just clicking and dragging with the spacebar pressed down. Okay, I'm looking at Control C with the original layer selected. And I'm just gonna put this up here at the top. I'm selecting this Weems group so that it pastes right above it. I'm gonna hit Control Shift V. That's paste in place. And I'm gonna rename this to I Don't Snore. All right. In design, circles are powerful but unforgiving. The human eye craves perfect geometry and will instantly spot a misshapen curve, which immediately shatters the illusion of balance. Now let's position these along that ellipse. Let's turn our ellipse back on so we have a guide. And then I'm just gonna use my lasso tool again and select around these letters. And then my move tool to just scoop them into place. So I'm just gonna let them conform with this circle. I mean, each one, I'm just gonna dress it up and make sure that it's perfect. Here's the lasso tool again. I'm not holding shift, I've just selected around it. I'm going to just switch to my move tool and move it into place. And I'm going to follow that around and do that for each letter. I've done several of them, and now I'm going to hit Control D. I've got my lasso tool back on. I select around this T. And then I've just switched to my move tool and pull it straight down. I'm looking at the kerning. That's the space between the letters. And I'm gonna hold hit Control T to transform and move it into place. Kerning is the art of adjusting the space between individual letters. It fixes awkward gaps, making sure every word looks perfectly balanced and effortless to read. So I'm all the way around to this R. And I'm just gonna move it and set it right here, but sometimes I struggle, so then I use my arrow keys to make really small adjustments. Just little tweaks to make sure it's perfect. Okay, now let's do the E. So the E looks like it's a little bit too large. So because I'm being distracted by the other letters, I'm just gonna turn off this bottom layer. And I'm gonna select this E, switch to my move tool, pull it into place, and I'm actually just going to compare its heights to this R. I think it's just a tiny bit too big. I'm just barely going to drag that down, just a tiny bit. All right, let's pull this over here. Let's look at our spacing, and then let's swivel it around and just fix that E once and for all. Small arrow key adjustments to make it perfect. And then we're gonna hit enter to confer. We're almost finished. We're gonna hit Control B, and we're just gonna take this layer now, right click on it, blending options, color overlay. So now it's all gonna be the same color. It's just forcing that color across the whole layer. I'm gonna hit OK, and then I'm actually gonna turn off the effects so that I can use that same trick to select the color. So I've selected the color, and I'll turn the effects back on. Open up the color overlay, and then just click the eyedropper on that color. And now we know it's perfect. Let's look at it against black. Let's select this original layer. Solid color. We're gonna choose black, and we're gonna have that underneath all of our artwork. And it's a great time to group our artwork. I'm gonna select this bottom motorcycle all the way up to the I don't snore, and Control G, and then name it artwork. Notice I did not select the ellipse because that's just a tool that we use to line things up. It's not actual artwork. I want to check the centering. So here's my I don't snore layer. I'm going to select my move tool. Again, I'm aligned to canvas, and I'm just going to click center. And it moved quite a bit. So let's zoom out a little bit. Let's turn off that black layer. Let's look at how our ellipse now matches up with our I don't snore. And it doesn't. So let's try moving the entire object, Control T, and we'll just rotate the entire thing so that it matches back up and follows that curve. Hit enter to confirm. We're definitely in the home stretch. All right, let's turn our background back on. And let's turn off our artwork layer. And let's turn off our ellipse. And let's see if we can start isolating some of these other parts at the bottom. So I'm going to zoom in on these wings and this little piston. And I'm just going to select around it. So I'm going to select all the way around, including that part. And just go all the way around just this little piston. And I messed up a little bit there, so I'm going to hold Alt and deselect that part. And I went a little too extreme, so I want to hold Shift and add that back into the selection. Now let's just try that same trick we always do, and let's use the Remove tool. And I think it's done a great job. So I'm going to zoom out, and I'm going to select around this top part. I'm going to zoom in and refine it. So I'm holding the Alt, and then I'm holding Shift where I want to add. And I'm going to go all the way along this and refine that selection. Now I'm getting really close. I haven't everything selected that I want to remove. And so what I'm going to do is use my Marquee tool and hold Shift and draw all the way along this edge. And that's giving me a really nice, flat, straight edge there. We do the same thing around here. And then I'm going to hold Alt and go the other way. And deselect this part. Okay, let's try that Remove tool. Here we go. And it actually didn't work out for me. The AI that's inside Photoshop did not understand what I was trying to accomplish. So I'm going to hit Control Z. It thought I was trying to get rid of the shadow. I need to increase my selection. So I'm actually going to make sure it knows I want all of this gone too. And we'll try that same trick again. Okay, we'll accept that. That works. So we'll just come in and we'll paint it out. So we've got our selection done. And this is just helping us get a nice edge. We're going to switch over to our brush tool. We're going to soften it. And we're just going to paint this out. Oops. Let's switch back to light. I'm just going to paint all this area. I have to get a hard edge here. I'm going to paint carefully there. I'm clicking once. I'm holding shift and I'm clicking again. And it just drew a straight line. So now we paint all this out and just isolate just this sign. All right. Now I'm just going to again use the selection tool. And I'm going to merge down on a new copy. So I'm going to duplicate this layer. And I'm going to merge these 3 layers. See, I preserve in my original. And then I'm just going to use my marquee tool and select this part. Actually, can we get a little bit closer? I want some space around. I want some gaps on the side and extra white space. And hit Control-C. Now I've gone back to ChatGPT. I'm actually just going to open a new window and go to ChatGPT again. And I'm going to paste what I have on my clipboard, which is that motorcycle sign. Now, I'm going to close this, and I'm just going to copy this prompt to save myself some time. So let's paste that. I want you to improve and refine this motorcycle sign. Keep the same muted color palette, but add details where you can. This no longer matters. This is a great place to put our new prompt. Please fix the spelling of the word motorcycle. It is misspelled. All right, let's try it. Create image. Fingers crossed. I think it's pretty funny that I am having the AI fix my human spelling. That's a first for me. Ha ha ha. I want to point out that I'm using ChatGPT Pro, which does give you better results and a lot more prompts than the free version. ChatGPT Plus for personal use unlocks advanced models for $20 a month. If you need massive limits, the new ChatGPT Pro is $100 a month. And not only has it added detail, but it's fixed my initial mistake, and I'm super proud of it. All right, let's download that. So we're just going to follow that same technique. We're going to hit Select Image. I'm actually going to name it. So I'm going to call it Signed. And then open it up in Upscayl. And we don't need to go quite that big. Let's just go 3x to 6500. So we're keeping all our individual elements right around that 6,000 pixel mark. That way we know they're all going to be great quality and perfect size for our design that we're working in. Awesome. All right, now we can come back here. We don't need this layer anymore. We're just going to hit delete on it. We just made it temporarily. So I'm going to hit Control-D to deselect. Okay, so just like before, we're going to drag it in. So there's the Upscayl. I'm going to rename it. Just sign Upscayl. And I'm just going to drag it and drop it on the stage and hit Enter to confirm. And then double click on the layer. This one's going to be very easy to chop out. We're just going to grab the magic wand, same tolerance, and click once and look at our selection. And it looks perfect. We just want to check the corners. You know, it's always a great idea to kind of look at these corners, where things meet, and make sure that's good. Looks fine to me. Select, modify, expand, 1 pixel, enter. Click a layer to unlock it, and just hit delete. Now we're going to go to Image, Trim, Transparent Pixels. Hit OK. Control-S to save. Then go back, and we have it on our main document. Now select the Move tool. Control-T. Have scooted into place. Then let's scale it down. We'll just keep scaling until it's just about the right size. And again, we can make our own decision of how we want this to line up. So we're going to hit Enter. And then I'm just going to center it, just in case, and it is centered. It already was centered, so it didn't move at all. Pro tip, In both Photoshop and Photopea, hold the Alt key while resizing. This scales your layer proportionally straight from the center, keeping everything perfectly anchored in place. Now all we need to do is move our sign into the artwork folder. So let's collapse the artwork, and let's move the sign up into the artwork folder. Whoop, I missed it, let's drop it right there. Okay, we are in the home stretch. It's time to speed things up and clean up the rest of the elements in this awesome design. Zooming in on the piston and wings, I'm switching to the pen tool for a precise cut. I'll start tracing the outline, clicking point by point around the shape to isolate it from the background. For the tighter details on the piston, zoom in further to ensure every curve is accurate. Once the path is closed, I'll Control-click the layer thumbnail to turn that path into a live selection. Now I'll create a new layer and hit Control-Shift-I to invert the selection. I'm painting the background white so the graphic stands out perfectly on its own. Finally, I'll duplicate and merge the layers to flatten the isolated graphic, grab the Marquee tool to box it in, and hit Control-C to copy it for the next step. I'm heading back to the original motorcycle image and pasting it into the chat to maintain consistency. Next, I'll type a prompt to refine the piston and wings design, asking for more detail while keeping the muted colors and ensuring crisp, clean edges. Finally, I'll hit Create Image to see the updated results. The clean edges on this generated design look great. I'll download the asset and get ready to prep it for the final layout. Next, I'll drop the file into Upscayl. I'm renaming it Piston Wings and running a 3x upscale to reach roughly 6,000 pixels. This high resolution is crucial for getting those razor-sharp edges in the next step. Switching back over to Photoshop, I'll clear out the old placeholder and bring in our fresh, high-res, upscaled asset. Using the magic wand, I'll shift-select the white background and those small interior gaps. I'll expand the selection by 1 pixel before hitting delete to ensure no white fringe remains, then trim the canvas to the transparent pixels. Time for some cleanup. I'll use the spot healing brush to remove any stray AI artifacts, and then use a hard black brush to manually sharpen the outlines where needed. I'll center the piston under the motorcycle text and add some height to the bottom of my canvas. Drag the piston over the banner and center it so it feels like part of the sign. To mask it, Control-click the layer thumbnail to select every pixel. This precise silhouette ensures the piston integrates perfectly with the wings, rather than just floating on top. To create depth, I'll expand the piston selection by 15 pixels and apply a layer mask to the sign behind it, giving it a clean, cut-out look around the wings. Finally, I'll re-enable the original layers. I'm copying the star element and pasting it into a new layer to serve as the finishing touch for the entire composition. I'll start by naming the layer Star and creating a solid fill in that burnt orange color. After dragging it into the artwork group, I'll center it perfectly below the piston and double-check the wing alignment. For a custom touch, I'll scale the star down while holding Alt and nestle it right inside the piston's bottom circle. To wrap things up, I'll select the horizontal bars from the original background and convert that selection into a path. I'm creating a new solid fill named Bars in green and positioning them behind the graphic. I'll duplicate the bars, flip them horizontally for the other side, and then group and center the entire set. With that final adjustment, the full design is officially complete. Taking a final look at the zoomed-out design, I noticed the green accent bars were slightly misaligned. To fix this, I'll rename the layer and use a ruler for a precise guide. I'm using Free Transform, Ctrl+T, to straighten them out and shrink the scale slightly so they fit better within the overall composition. Once I have the tilt exactly where I want it, I'll delete the left side, duplicate my new bars, flip them horizontally, and center the entire group for perfect symmetry. The heavy black shadow under the bike has been bothering me, so it's time for a more professional fix. I'll duplicate the motorcycle layer and expand my canvas size by 1,000 pixels to give myself plenty of room to work. Using the pen tool, I'm going to draw a precise path along the bottom curve of the rear tire. I'll use the direct selection tool to tweak the anchor points, making sure that curve is seamless. Once the path is closed, I'll set the fill to black and the stroke to none. Now for the magic trick. I'll control-click the new shape layer to select the pixels, then use Control plus Shift plus I to invert that selection. Switching to the eraser tool on the motorcycle layer, I can now safely wipe away that heavy shadow. This leaves us with a much cleaner, more intentional contact point between the tire and the ground. I'll work carefully around the tire edges before using a larger brush to clear the rest. With the artwork finalized, we need to prep the file for the Crystal DTF library. I'll start by trimming away all the transparent pixels to get a tight bounding box. In the image size menu, I'm turning resample off to set the resolution to 300 dpi, then turning it back on to scale the width to 15 inches. This gives us a final high-resolution file of 4,500 by 4,873 pixels, which is perfect for high-quality garment printing. Time for the final exports. I'll do a quick export as PNG and name this version for Lights because of the dark text. To see how it holds up on a dark garment, I'll drop in a black background layer. You can see the top text disappears, so I'll apply a color overlay and sample a cream tone directly from the motorcycle to make it pop. I'll then export this version as our For Darks file. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot a step. So, after I stopped recording, I started looking at my design and I saw that I'd left out the green, and I wanted to have that back. And I made the match this green to the green on the fender. And I actually matched the orange to the orange in the motorcycle. And I just cleaned up a lot of different parts. I kind of moved over the I Dream on. I added a little drop shadow. So I've just kind of tightened up the design in all the ways. And now I'm really ready to save it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take this artwork layer and I'm just gonna merge visible, merge that group, okay? So all of that group is now merged. And I would do one final step before I save this artwork. I'm gonna do layer mask from transparency. I'm gonna zoom in. I want to take this, hit Alt, and select this mask. And you're going to be able to see that if we zoom in enough, there's little semi-transparencies right along these edges. And what we're going to do to fix that, we're going to be Image, Adjustments, Threshold, and hit OK. And now we have no semi-transparent pixels. So we're going to export this. We're going to File, Export, Export as PNG, and I'm going to save that one as my For Lights. Yes. And right before I've made those steps, I'd actually saved the document. So I am going to do File and Revert. And then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna change that color overlay of that I Don't Snore one more time with that cream color. Hit OK, hit OK. And I wanna come up and do that same trick again. We'll merge this group. We're gonna do Layer Mask from Transparency, hold Alt, select the mask, Image, Adjustments, Threshold. Hit OK. And now I'm gonna export this as the one For Darks. So there it is For Darks. Hit save. Yes. Now we're actually finished. Let's take a look at our work. I'm thrilled with how this turned out. I hope you learned a lot today. Remember, the sky's the limit on what you can create. See you next time.